And we're live. Don't be nervous. We'll kind of let everybody tune in. I hope you can hear it. All right. Sorry, this is our first time doing something live like this together, but I'm usually messing around on this and it's not as serious. So I guess we'll give it a second. Hope you can hear it, and we'll get started. Let me introduce myself. My name is Reno Mahe. This is my wife, Sunny Mahe. And if you're just tuning in, please feel free to comment where you're from or where you're tuning in from, and we'll just go from there. So
we were invited to be part of this by my friend Pam Ackerman. Sorry. I'm so nervous.
Don't be nervous.
Yeah. Sorry. So I was really, really honored to be invited and included in the Light the World campaign that High Five Live is doing. And if you've never, for those of our friends or family that's watching that has never seen the High Five Live videos, I would encourage you to follow them. That they put out live videos that are just super inspiring. And so yeah, we were really honored to be part of it. And I'm obviously super nervous. I've never had to stare at myself while speaking. I've done a lot of public speaking, but not to myself, like it feels like I'm doing right now.
You're fine. So as part of our video, we wanted to talk about our daughter Elsie. And for those that don't know about our story, Elsie is our 3-year-old daughter that passed away a couple of years ago. And a lot of people will probably feel sorry for us and with regards to the tragic event of Elsie's death. But we've also experienced a lot of miracles from it, and really grateful for Elsie being able to kind of light the path back home. And so I'll let Sunny kind of touch up and give you, those that aren't familiar with the story.
So if you've never heard anything about Elsie was our 3-year-old daughter that 2 years ago, it was just a normal day that I had sent my 4 big kids off to school, and I had my 3 little ones at home, Elsie being the middle one, and I was actually also watching 2 of a neighbor's kids. And they were just happily playing and running from room to room and giggling, and I was just doing household chores. And as I was washing the dishes, Elsie's friend came and tapped me on the hip, and she said, "Elsie's hanging by the string." And I didn't have any frame of reference for what that could mean. And so I didn't even turn off the water in my sink, and I walked into my front room to find that Elsie had become entangled in the cord from our blinds. And so I quickly took her down and I began CPR. I sent my older son to go get help, and a neighbor came and gave her a priesthood blessing. And the paramedics were called, and she was life-flighted to Primary Children's Hospital. And she spent a week there before she passed away on November 29th of 2016. And so if that's all you've ever heard of our story, then it just sounds like a really huge tragedy to have happened in our family. But we also experienced a lot of miracles in that time, that even just in that time of her actual accident, that I'm not really the kind of mom that watches other people's kids, that I have so many of my own that I don't think people think that they should ask me. And because I have so many kids, my kids, they kind of make a big mess. And so my house looks like I have a lot of kids. And so I am embarrassed about it, and I don't really offer to watch other people's kids. But I got a group text from a friend that needed a sitter at the last second, and so I said I would do it. And if not for her daughter having been there, I'm not really sure how long it would have taken me to find Elsie. The neighbor that came over to give her a priesthood blessing, he just happened to be running a little bit late for work. And so he was able to get here really fast, and he had oil in his pocket, and so he was able to give her a priesthood blessing. And the paramedics that were the first ones on site, they were typically stationed about 15 minutes away, but that day they happened to be on break just 3 minutes away from our house. And I'm not any kind of doctor or nurse. I don't have any kind of medical training at all. But by the time those paramedics came, I had started her heart, and she was starting to take breaths on her own. And so, because of all those miracles that we saw leading up to our stay at the hospital, I think we had every reason to hope for the best outcome, that she was going to be fine and she was going to pull through it.
And so when the doctor came back and gave us the news that she had gone without air for too long, and so her brain had severe damage, with all the miracles like Sonny stated, we didn't have any doubt that she'd be fine. But having gone through that news, and it kind of put us at a loss on what did it all mean? Why have all these miracles only for her not to be able to pull through on it? And so first thing we did right away was Sonny wanted to go to the temple. And so we walked down right from the doctor's. When we met with the doctors, we walked to the lobby, and as we were sitting there, we were like, let's go to the temple. We ended up not having a ride. There's a nice lady who happened to be from the same area we're from, gave us a ride to the temple. And while sitting at the temple, what was the thoughts you had?
I think we both felt a pretty strong impression that she was not meant to live through this accident. And that was kind of where I shut off the revelatory process. I was just trying to process that.
And then so Sonny asked me what I had thought about it, and I just had this impression. The thing that came to mind for me at the temple was organ donation. And so I mentioned to Sonny about, I told her organ donation, and it kind of made everything make sense.
Yeah, for me, I was really questioning, why was I able to save her, but I wasn't able to save her, and so that kind of ended up being the missing piece for me, that she was meant to be a life-saving miracle for others. And so we talked about that the miracle of miraculous healing, it wasn't meant for Elsie, that it was going to come from Elsie. And so, as we talk about that in terms of this week, the light the world, that's a little more meaningful to me now, especially at Christmas time. That it makes me think of another mother, that her child was meant to be a life-saving miracle for others. And also, what it has done for our family is that it has sharpened our focus on the plan of salvation and the true meaning of why we are really here.
Sorry. I think for me, I've had in the last couple years, people ask me. Just today, I went to my kids' Christmas assembly at the elementary school, and for most of my life, having played football, people usually will, hey, you're the guy that played football. And today I had a gentleman at the school I've never met before. He just lives down the street, and he's like, hey, I know you. I was like, and to me, it's the whole, you play football. And he said, oh, you're the one that lost the kid. And it was, it's happened over the last couple of years, people saying that, but I usually will, I usually say something back to them about how it's more so, I don't feel like I've lost the kid, as I felt like She's been more of a kid that's made it. She's a kid that will never be lost, and she's a light to me now in regards to lighting it for my family more and more about the plan of salvation, and that she's our light, that she's the one we're going to return to, that she's with Christ now, and just for people to know out there that there is that. You know, when my wife talks about of another mother that has lost a child, with our Savior Christ is someone that has liked that and made the opportunity for us to be with our daughter again. And that's something I'll, forever be grateful for.
So while we were at the hospital, we had to take our kids into a room, and we had to share the news with them that their sister wasn't going to live through this, and I think we were both really worried about how they were going to react, what was going to be their response. And my oldest daughter drew this picture, and somebody has made it into a canvas for us, but I don't know how well you can see it. So this is our family, and there's little Elsie reaching towards the Savior. And now, most of us, when we saw this picture, we were really touched, and we thought, how wonderful it was that she had that knowledge and that foundation. But my husband, he looked at it and he says, "Why am I next?" So there's that. But another thing that I wanted to talk about with regards to Elsie is after she passed, I did a lot of studying. I did a lot of reading, and I wanted to know what it was like where she was, what she was doing. Where she was, who she was with. And so I was doing a lot of studying, and I read in Doctrine and Covenants 138, and it talks about the spirits of the just that are commissioned as missionaries to take the gospel to those who haven't had the chance to receive it. And in that way, it has made me feel like a missionary mom. That I don't get those Monday morning emails. But I do get special experiences that I get little spiritual insights here and there about where she is and what she's doing, and that she's okay. And it has changed the way that I think about death. It has changed the way I think about my ancestors, because one of the things that I pray for is for someone to give her a mother's hug. That I can't do it from this side. And so one of the things has become very important to me is temple work. And so we have this little box that was given to us, and it's filled with temple names that we call Elsie's new friends. Did you have something?
No, you're good.
Why were you doing this? Oh, I thought you were telling me that you wanted to talk. Yeah, we are running short on time. I don't want to go overtime, but as we have considered the trial of losing Elsie, I think that in true spirit of the Lord, that we have received a generous portion of light and almost an unfair advantage to make good choices, that we want to see her again. We want to be there with her where she is. And so in that way, it has been a blessing to our family, that it has definitely been a light to our family.
And in closing for me, just wanted to touch on not only within our family, as Polynesians, we're always, everyone's family. But I just wanted a shout out to not only my immediate family, distance family, but my neighbor family, my neighbors in my family ward, all those that have been family to us, that have been there for us through all this. It's you that have been a light to us to get through that could have been a very dark time for us, but has been really, it is really, you've helped us get through this. You have no idea, and it's so hard to repay that, but just to let you know how much of a light you've been in our life to really help us get through this time, and to be happy and to be grateful, to look forward to being with Elsie again. So
I'm good? So awkward. I don't know what to say anymore.
But anyways, thank you guys. Wish you a Merry Christmas, Happy New Year's, and we're signing out. I don't know how to sign out.